Recording. Okay, welcome everyone. Leadership 101, Chapter 10. The law of, what is it, relationships? Something like, what is
Connection.
it? Connection.
Better not be relationship. That's not what I did.
Yeah, no. I actually, when I haven't even listened to the whole thing, I'm being honest, but I listened to some of it and it's awesome. And I was thinking, this is a good one for you, Janille, because you're the one who helped me to understand the value of building relationships before you reach out and share. And I know you've had huge success with that. So this is perfect for you. So fun. So cool. Janille is going to be taking us through this chapter. And so let's hear it. Oh, Katie's here too. Katie hasn't done one yet, Janille. Okay. Katie would do an excellent job.
Okay, so perfect. So when it comes to working with people, the heart comes before the head, okay? And that is pretty much what the law of connection is. So I'm going to tell you this story. It's about George W. Bush. And he, during his, whatever you call it, his presidency, September 11th happened. And so it was such a huge thing that happened to our country. I mean, it was so hard on us. But when that happened, the president, just like a day or, went to ground zero and actually shook hands and talked to the police officers and the firefighters and the rescue workers. And it was huge. The world saw that he was taking a stand and he was showing his love and respect and kindness. And people knew that he loved them. And during his whole, while he was president, it was like a huge deal that he did this. And a lot of people loved him for that. So he became president again, and another tragedy happened, and it was Hurricane Katrina. So the problem with this time around is when Hurricane Katrina happened, the levees all came and it was crazy. He took a helicopter and just went over and looked at what was happening and didn't really go in and help or, figure out things. And the people saw his indifference. It was a huge problem for them. And they just saw it as he didn't care. And it was hard to get their love back. It was, it was crazy. I actually just went to Louisiana a few months ago. And I mean, the craziness that happened there, I mean, you could still tell just from random people that I talked to that it was such a hard time in their life. It really hurt them. And so that indifference that the president did, it was pretty much impossible to get their respect back because they just thought he didn't care. And so the reason why that's such a problem is because, he didn't show that he cared, so they didn't trust him. Okay, so let me see where I'm at. Okay, when it comes to working with people, the heart comes before the head, which I already said earlier. I want to read this. For the leaders to be effective, they need to connect with people. Why? Because they first have to touch people's hearts before you ask them for their hand. That is the law of connection. All great leaders and communicators recognize this truth and act on it almost instinctively. You cannot move people to action unless you first move them with emotion. Okay, so what is our business? Our business, I mean, I think that holds in hand when we try to get people to do the products, but even the business. I feel like for me, it's easier for me to get people to try to take the products. I don't have a problem with that, but I have a problem with getting people to want to do the business. And so this is going to be something huge that I'm going to have to implement into my business, because I don't know if you guys have this problem, but to get people to do the business or get people to do anything is super, super hard. And so if we can master this law of connection and get people to feel and want to work, we could explode to the top. To get everyone to want to work, to have that ability would be amazing. So I want to ask this question. So do you agree with the author that leaders must touch the heart before they ask for the hand? And why? Why do you think that's so important? And if anyone has any examples, that would be great too. I'm just going to leave it here until someone answers.
I think, am I on? Oh, I am. I think that it makes sense that way, Janille, because you have to build, it's part of building that relationship. It's making connections with people. I think we find that every one of us has probably done this in our business, where you get so excited and you just want to like jump right in and share, but yet when you get that wall built, there's like a wall and then you can't break through it. I think if we step back and make those connections and really befriend people, I guess to say, it makes it easier to then talk about what their ailments are, or hey, have you thought about plexus, or have you heard of it? And then it's an easier conversation to kind of weave in, instead of just that, hey, I sell plexus, what do you think, that kind of thing. So I think having people have that emotion in their heart because they've connected with you is much greater than just jumping in.
Yeah, it connects with what Katie just wrote. She said they have to trust you. Because, I mean, can you imagine if someone was like telling you all this information and you're like, who the heck are you? Like, why would I believe you? I mean, that has happened to me multiple times where people start like throwing up, whatever. And you're like, I don't know you. Like, why are you giving me all this information? I don't trust you from anything. So I think that's really important.
So that's why I like being a storyteller and really sharing your story and connecting with people that you are also a person and you're not, yes, we may be experts, but you're not being a teacher, you're being more of a guide. So you're sharing your experience, but then you're guiding them and helping them have their own, instead of being like the teacher type person where you're like, this is what you have to do. This is what you, so it's very, very, very different when you share from your heart and you really tell your story and you connect to their story. So you ask about theirs and you really connect to them, then they trust you and then they listen. I mean, if you listen and then they listen, because I think I say this like every week, but I just seriously cannot emphasize enough that if we all listen more, we will all do better in our business. Because it really, there was a new person that joined our team this week and she posted something about, I need to learn how to sell this stuff. I really need to do well. And I was like, oh God, please. Like, we don't sell anything. Like, the second you sell plexus, I think you don't get it. Like, I really, really think you don't get it, because we share. We share our heart. We share our passion for people, and we share for helping people. And if we do that, then people feel cared about, and then they want to do the business. They want to do it too because they feel cared about, so they want to care about people too. So if we sell them, then they don't get on our team page. They don't follow us. They don't listen, and they quit. Because they think they just were being sold something to help someone out. Unless they have some miraculous, huge testimony that, which we hear if that happens to people who just are trying something to help their friend out. But in general, that's the case. But when we really get people engaged, we get them to care. And we get them to read our posts and we have conversations with them. And we connect with them. They're going to hang in there, like, hey, I had that happen too. Like, in our poop thread talk this week, like we're like, it's like that same thing. Like, we're all there. We're all in this together. And it creates a community, and people need community. That's why people join churches. That's why people, join all kinds of different, people need community. And I didn't even know myself I needed this community as much as I did until I had it, So we're offering so much more than we even know. It's not just a pink drink. It's like, it's not even that.
I love the two things that you said. Storytelling, that was really big. That's actually something that I'm going to talk about, which we can talk about it right now. At convention or even at leaders retreat, I know that we're having a speaker on storytelling. So you guys need to get your notes out and take notes, because this is going to be huge for you. If you can be a good storyteller, it can change your business. It can make people feel like, really, like, don't you remember? Like, I feel like when I started I tell my story now, and I've told it so many times that I don't get as emotional. When I first had my story and things were happening, guys, I could not keep the tears back. It moved me so much that I would cry. I couldn't help it. It was so passionate about that. And so like, if we can bring people to feel what we felt in that situation, it will move people, and they will feel something, and they will want to follow you. I also love that you talked about that we need to share. That's huge too. Perfect. I love those two things. So moving on here, the stronger the relationship you form with followers, the greater the connection you forge, and the more likely those followers will be willing to help you. I used to tell myself, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. That's perfect. That kind of says with what Larry just commented on. If you don't connect first, they just feel like a number and you're making money. That is seriously so, so true. They need to feel first. They need to feel like you care about them. And so one thing that Whitney was just bringing up is how that's one thing that I've implemented in the last 90 days is I relationship build. It's part of one of my 5 things that I do every day. Not only do I comment on Facebook on people's posts that are not Plexus related, but I reach out to 5 people, and I also try to make one non-Plexus personal call a day. Like physically, like who else physically picks up the phone and calls people anymore? We don't always have the time, but I'm telling you guys, if you make the effort, you'll start building some amazing relationships. And yes, that's great for Plexus, but it's just great for your soul too. Like just building relationships.
Can I add something?
So, yeah.
Okay, I had a neat experience. I'm sure maybe some of you have seen when I flew to Dallas for the big reveal, I got an invitation to stay at a Jewel's house with her, and I'd never met her before. She just, it was so random. She was just like, you know what? I love to get to know other Jewels, and I live really close, and I would love to save you some money and just get to know you if you don't mind staying at my house. And I was like, sure. And it was so amazing. Like it was meant to be for us to become, friends. And like we just got so much from each other, and we bonded like immediately. And I am so inspired by her mission with Plexus because she's African-American, and she says she's the only African-American Jewel right now that has a almost completely African-American team. She has, some other people on her team as well, but that's like the majority of her team. And her mission is all about like, she is so passionate about helping her culture develop a new mindset, because she insists that they're kind of stuck in a different mindset, and that this is so empowering for them to be able to like realize their worth and their potential with something like this. And the crazy thing is the majority of her team are middle-class women that make a 6-figure income in their regular job. So they don't do it for the money. They do it for the mission. And she's so passionate about it. And it was just really neat to hear her, her direction with this, and how to her, it's, of course the money was a part for her, because she quit her job with a master's degree as a principal at a school because she was miserable there. And as a gold, or was it, I think maybe a senior gold ambassador, she was making, I can't remember what exactly she said, but she was making like almost as much as she was with a master's degree as a principal. So she quit her job, and she did need the income, but she transformed it into something much more than that when she realized she had the opportunity to make a difference for her culture. And that's what she's all about now. So I thought that was neat. It kind of goes along with what Tara said. Like this can become something more than, even help or opportunity for people. It can become something big for people to belong to. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that's super awesome. I love that story. Thanks, Whitney. Okay, so we're going to move on. So how to connect. Okay, we're going to talk about 8 steps on how to connect with people. And I really, when I was looking at these steps, I really tried to apply it to the Plexus business and actual physical things to do, because I feel like action is so huge for me, and putting it into action is what I need to do. So the first thing is connect with yourself. And it says you need to know who you are. and to connect with others. Be confident and be yourself. And if you don't believe in who you are or where you want to lead, work on that before you do anything else. Okay, so what do we know that we need to do? Okay, we need to do self-development, guys. And sometimes I was kind of weird about it at first, but I started this year reading a book every month. And if you haven't read What to Say When You're Talking to Yourself, like that's a huge confidence builder. It helps you really, dig down deep, and like it just makes you feel so much better reading that book. I don't know. I really love that book. So you guys need to read it if you haven't. And then other self-development books, whatever you feel like you need to work on, find a book on that. So really just deep down and, think about that. Okay, so moving on. Number 2, communication with openness and sincerity. Okay, so this one's kind of funny to me because at first, when I first started Plexus, I had a huge problem with reaching out to people because I didn't know what to say. So people can smell a phony, like a mile away, okay? And I'm talking about scripts, guys. Okay, I love scripts, don't get me wrong, and I think that they really help people at the beginning, but you have to make them personal. If you get a script and you copy and paste it, like us, I'm talking about us right now. You guys, we're at the point where we're far enough in our business that we should be able to use a script and adjust it to every single person. We shouldn't be copying and pasting to send it because they can smell it from a mile away. And I'm telling you, when I started using the guts of a verbiage and then adding personal stuff, I'd look at their site and figure out what they needed, and I made it super personal to them. It takes more time, but guys, it is so much more worth it. I'm telling you. And people can tell, and they feel it when you actually care about them. So that moves on to our next one, which is 3, knowing your audience, guys. Like I said, okay, so we need to know who we're talking to. So whether it is like an organization or whatever, you need to know, like, look at their Facebook page, find out what they like, make sure you know who you're talking to. Don't just, like I said, those scripts, you can't just send those out because sometimes it doesn't apply to people. And then have the different scripts for the business, the products, and then make them personal. Super important, guys. Okay, number 4, this one's a really big one too. It says, live your message. One of the most important things you can do as leader is practice what you preach. Okay, this is going to be a hard truth because if we're not taking the products consistently, if we're not eating a healthy diet, if we're not drinking our water, how can we tell people to do it? It is just not right, and it's not fair. If you guys are not doing that now, then commit to start. Do what you have to do. I know it's hard. I mean, it's difficult to eat a super healthy diet, to eat clean, to try to, be the healthiest you can be. But this also goes for our business. If you're not doing daily IPAs, if you're not doing the daily stuff that you tell your team to do, then how can people follow you if you're not doing the same thing? So that one was kind of huge for me. And so, like I said, at the beginning of the year, I decided, like, I'm not going to hold this to chance. I'm going to step up and I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. And let's hope people follow suit. So, okay. Number 5, it says, go to where they are. This is speak to other people in their language. Talk to how they would talk, like their culture, their background, their education. Like, say you were talking to a person like Tara, you would have to talk about the ingredients. She cares about the ingredients. So you might need to do a little extra research to talk to someone that's kind of like a Tara. Or, there might be people like a Whitney that's all about the business. You need to know more about the business. So when you talk to Whitney, you got to know your business. That goes back to the other things you're just talking about. Know who you're talking to. Go where it says go to where they are. So that's what you just need to make sure you find out what they want. And that goes back to what Tara also said too. We need to listen, like find out what they really want. Okay, next is 6, focus on them and not yourself, which kind of leads to the next one. I just said listen. We need to close our mouth and listen with our ears. Isn't there some type of saying like God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth what's that saying? Does anyone know it? I don't even know what it is. Have you guys heard it? I don't know. I can't remember what it is, but any like self-development people or any leadership training that you'll hear is that you need to listen. You have to find out what their concerns are and listen and figure out how to, get to those concerns before they even become a problem. So, and the only way to do that is to listen and to close our mouths. I really like this next one. It says 7, it's believe in them. It's one thing to communicate to people because you believe you have something of value to say. It's another to communicate with people because they believe you have value. I just really like that one. When you believe in people, constantly praise them when they're doing good. And if you really truly like think about who you're working with and try to instill that into them, people will want to be better. I don't know if you guys ever feel that when someone, I don't know, like if your spouses or anything, your friends, when they like give you praise and you know that they care and love you, it makes you want to be a better person. And so if we can be strong and learn that quality, we can inspire people to move and want to work and want to be better and want to take the products every day, all those things. So this is like totally applies to our customers, our ambassadors, our friends, our family, and everything. So, and then number 8 is one I really love too, is offer direction and hope. So people expect leaders to help them get to where they want to go, but good leaders do that and more. One thing that I love about this was Whitney. When I first joined Plexus, she showed me the potential and the direction and instilled belief into me that made me want to do this business. She showed me what I could potentially be. And this is propelled me into doing this business, which is insane because I never wanted to do it. But she gave me that hope and that belief in myself that made me want to do this. So Whitney, you are definitely, one of my inspirations when it comes to the law of connection, because I feel like we connected when we first met, but you put that hope and belief into me to make me want to do this business. Because I mean, come on, I didn't even want to do it. And here I am, just promoted to senior gold and, shooting to go emerald and diamond someday, So that's just something that I really, really love about those steps. Like those steps are amazing. And that's what I love about going to convention. I mean, these people that are teaching and like the motivational speakers, they have mastered the law of connection. If you guys when you go to convention, you just like feel it. You get chills and you're like, oh my gosh, this is insane. Like my life's changed. I want to go out and work. And that's exactly what the laws of connection is. So when leaders truly have done their work to connect with their people, you can see it in the way of their organization. So when you see people growing, then you know that they have mastered the law of connection because they're getting people to do things. And I think that's one of the big things that I want to learn, because I was having a conversation with a friend and she was like, how do we get people to go silver? Like everyone to go silver. How can we make people go silver? And that's hard. Like it's hard to just say, okay, it's super easy. You just find people who you want to help and find 3 friends. It's super easy. We all know it's not too bad. It's not too hard to go silver, but for some reason we can't move them. So that's going to be like a goal that we need to figure out, is like how we can master the law of connection to get people to move, to do the things that we know will help them. I really super, super love this chapter because it kind of moved me. I feel like I'm already a little bit of a more outgoing person, but still, like, I still needed to hear all these things, because even though I may be an outgoing person and then I may be able to talk to whoever I want to just because I'm not really that shy, I still haven't mastered the law of connection because I can't get people to do the things that I want to do. So here's the point. The point is you could be totally shy and be great at law of connection. You don't have to be an outgoing person to do that. And that's what I love most. So some of the ways to apply this, which I kind of liked, I want you guys to try to do this. So I want you guys, when you're like in a group of people, I want you, they call it slowly walking through the crowd. Okay. And I want you to make an effort to talk to like 3 people that you know nothing about and find 3 things about them. Does that like horrify something? I totally feel like that would horrify Renee to do that. Try it, guys. I think you should totally try it. Try to walk through a group and just talk to 3 random strangers, and it doesn't even have to be Plexus related. Like, try to build a relationship, build trust with them. I go to church every Sunday, and so I tried to apply it to on Monday, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not a shy person. I don't have a problem talking to people, but for some reason, when I like put it in my mind I was going to do it, I walk up to someone and I was like, yeah, all right. And I walked around them because I was like too nervous to do it. So it's something that we should challenge ourselves to try to build relationships. Because I'm telling you guys, once I started doing that, it's made a huge difference. And can you imagine if someone that you haven't talked to in 10 years says, hey, I'm doing Plexus. I think you should totally try it. I've lost weight. I've done this and this and this and this. You should totally try it. You're like, no. But if I spent an extra month or, a few weeks talking to them, seeing how they're doing, seeing how their kids are doing, how their family is doing, and then you say, you know what, you've been on my mind. I've been thinking about you, and just tell them your story and explain to them, I really think this can help you. That would make a huge difference. So I know that we cold call people too, and cold calling is kind of hard situation too. But I really think that you can still do that with cold calling. So that's kind of all I have for you guys today. I really think that the law of connection is super important. I was just talking to Tara, and I don't know if it's because I'm teaching it today, but I really think moving people to do things is a hard thing. And if we can master law of connection and we can move people to want to change or want to be better and want to do all these things, it'll help us so much in our business. So anyways, I did have some questions, but I feel like we're running out of time. I kind of talked a lot. Sorry.
Don't be sorry. That was awesome, Janelle. That was really good.
I do have a couple questions if you guys want to move on because it's time's up. That's okay too.
Well, go ahead and ask. If anyone needs to go right now, they can, but I want to hear what you have personally.
So they were just some of the questions in the book, which I had a whole bunch of stuff written down, but I kind of, you like over prepare. Anyways, I just wanted to know, like, what have people been doing? Like, how have you connected with someone on your team? Like, what are you guys doing to connect with people on your team, and what is working for you? I'm just wondering what you guys are actually doing, because I feel like if we tell people, maybe someone doesn't know this and it can help them in their business. That's what I'm thinking of. So what are people doing to connect with their team and to build relationships and getting people to feel, does anybody have anything?
So I have one. She's my level 2, I guess. Anyway, she sent out a group message, but she was cold contacting people, and she did it as a group message, and people were not happy. And even our best friend was ticked. So she's been having a really hard time to get the courage to share again. And so I've just been connecting with her, like checking up on her, seeing how she's doing, like not pushing her to share or anything, but trying to get to know her more personally. And I've sent her a few books, and just kind of every time I see a talk or an article that might benefit her, then I send it to her. And so that has really helped our relationship. Mm-hmm. And she has really opened up to me, and she hasn't started sharing yet, but I know someday she will be like a rock star. So I'm just trying to cultivate those relationships right now.
That's awesome.
That's perfect.
Is that Sandra?
Yes.
Awesome. That's cool.
Yeah, she's probably having to do like recon, like fix up. That's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard. Because I've actually been in conversations where, I thought it was going good, and they're like all of a sudden pulled back, and I was like, ooh, I had to like think for a second. What did I say? And you have to go in like survival mode to like catch back up. And so we have to be careful that we really are trying to find the best interest of the people at heart, and whatever that is, our journey is different with everyone else. Some people want to go fast, some people want to go slow, but we want to be there to help them, inspire them to do that. Thanks. I love that. Does anybody else have anything else to say? So one of the things that I just challenge you guys to do is every day, I'm talking every day, build relationships and don't make it plexus related at all, okay? Just talk to people, get to know them, and then you'll find that perfect in of when's a good time. Have you guys ever heard of posture? I was kind of listening about it on Tamara Holloway's thing. Posture is this, she like posted something about it, and that's when you meet someone, they're like, oh, I want to hear about plexus, and you're like, blah, you like throw up plexus. It's kind of the same thing. Like, we need to just build that relationship and find that in, because if we can do that, then we can cultivate this relationship where people are successful, which is really what we want. And you guys, we really care. The most of the time, the people that we're reaching out to, we love and care, and we want them to take these products, and we want them to do the business. So you can't just force people to do it. You have to move them, and you have to figure out the best way it is. And it's going to be different for every person. So it's not like I can say, you need to do this and this and this. It's going to be different for every person. So you're going to have to really try to work hard. It's going to push you past your comfort zone, reaching out to people and loving on them. Like, just love, give it out, because they need it. So super appreciate it, guys.
Awesome. Do you want to pick someone now, or do you want to message someone privately?
It doesn't matter. Katie, do you want to do it? Do you want to do it, Katie?
She said thumbs up.
Okay.
Katie, I know you haven't been able to get your audio to work. Is that an issue, or are you going to be okay?
It's not working.
I'll chat.
Oh, there.
We can kind of hear you.
Oh, you heard me?
Yeah.
But it's very light.
Okay, I don't know where the microphone is in this computer, but I think I can probably figure something out, or I can use my iPad.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you. So chapter 11.
I don't know. It sounds like you're muffled, so I bet it's in the back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you sound like you're muffled. So maybe there's a book or something against your microphone or something behind it.
Okay, I'll try to figure it out.
It's a law of inner circle.
Ooh.
It's who you choose determined to those closest to you. The leader's potential is determined by those closest to you.
Cool. All right. Awesome. Okay. Well, Janille, thank you. That was really, really good. And I know we all benefited greatly from that. So we appreciate you, and everyone have an awesome week. I'm going to be launching a challenge that may involve some of you with the new action pack. And then also I want to do a team-wide contest. My goal with it, just so you know, is to get everyone that orders an action pack to do a little contest to use one of those bags for samples and giveaways. We've got like a message campaign that's really, really popular and working really well right now that one of the Jules was sharing. And I was like, this is perfect to use that second bag of Slim on, with the potential of, getting a bunch of new customers and ambassadors. So I think a lot of people would want to jump in on it. And I'll find some fun incentive to do that, because we don't want people, especially those inactives that were like, I'm seeing so many inactives coming back and ordering this action pack, but we don't want them not ordering next month because they got 2 bags of Slim with this order. So looking to do something like that. Hopefully we'll go up tomorrow. And I really wanted you guys to know, for the 7-day challenge, the plan with that is still going to be our main focus. And I'm not going to talk about the new Slim on the 7-day challenge until towards the very end of it. And then I'm going to hype it up big time and be like, the only way you can get the new Slim right now is with a welcome pack. So that's even more incentive for them to decide to order as an ambassador after the challenge is over versus ordering as a customer. So we've got a good game plan, and you'll see all of that like rolling out, hopefully starting tomorrow. I'm working on a bunch of things to help us. So this is exciting stuff. We got to jump on this and roll with it as fast as we can. So thanks. We've kept you over already, but just wanted to throw that out there. So you guys all have a good night. Love you guys. Big hugs.
Bye.
Have a good night, everyone.